wow, you did worse.
Good morning.
You got something there?
Yeah, because I need to, if we go a little bit longer, I'll have to go back there and whip up the mouse to keep it going.
Okay.
You need that?
Nah, I can walk back and forth. I think I'm everything on the agenda. I've never sat behind Sarah in a meeting, so that would be good.
Brace yourself.
Wes, you gotta explain the money part, I guess.
Yes, sir. Same, kind of like Tuesday.
What is that? Did y'all already? Is that a window I need to look at? What do I need to do? Is that figured out? No, just wait. Y'all come on. Yeah. Well, you got just a few minutes. He might.
Last Thursday.
Well, did you happen to read? It's been around. You might not be saying that.
Coming in. Time we got? Courtney, I'll need you afterwards with, Rick.
Yes.
How are you,
I are excellent. How are you?
Mr. Mayor? How are you?
Okay.
I'm instructed.
I think my home is here in the mall, where you- okay.
I got a nephew just born. I've got a nephew that was just born.
Bob, you can sit over here. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I appreciate you coming to this call meeting and being a volunteer. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And at this time, I'm entertaining a motion to accept or amend the agenda as necessary.
So moved to accept the agenda as presented.
A motion? Second? Any other discussion? All in favor? Thank you very much. Okay, what are we gonna do here now? Item number 2 of the agenda is, I'm gonna turn it over to Wes and Daniel. I think Wes is gonna go first to explain the process and what all we've done in regards to item number 2 on the agenda, and then Daniel's going to follow up with the legalese on that. Yes?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the board having this call meeting during these trying times. What I'm here to do today is just to explain what we're doing with bond issuance. It's an Industrial Development Authority revenue bond. It's called Economic Development Project Series 2012. These bonds were issued in 2012 originally for economic development project. The coupon rate at that point was 3.22%. And with things moving in the stock market, there's opportunity to refinance with considerable interest savings with that refi. So new rate is 1.25%. Cost savings after issuance is $676,000. With that, I will turn it over to Daniel.
That's good day's work. Thank you.
Certainly.
A couple things that are worth saying. These were the economic development bonds that were issued to get Caterpillar here. And just as an aside, the county pledged its $1 million on economic development toward the payment of these bonds, and that will reduce the amount that's committed to that, frees up some for economic development. So that's a good thing. We want to thank Andrew Tritt at Stifel and Jim Woodward who is our bond lawyer, for all their hard work getting this together. They both were willing to come today, but we excused them so that we would be done with the 10. The county on Tuesday night signed an intergovernmental agreement, voted to approve and signed an intergovernmental agreement that it would be responsible for paying these bonds. So even though they are bonds of the Industrial Development Authority, the payment is guaranteed with full faith and credit of the county. So the IDA has no risk on that. What I need from the board is a motion to approve the bond resolution, which authorizes all the actions that will need to be taken to secure this savings. That includes the chairman and secretary signing everything. It includes filing a validation, which is a court proceeding where the judge looks at all this and makes sure that it's done correctly and properly. The hearing on that will be on the 23rd. It'll be here at the Oconee County Courthouse. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have, but the motion I need is for the approval of the bond resolution, which includes the intergovernmental agreement. So we don't need a separate motion for that. We just need a motion to approve the bond resolution.
So I'd make a motion to approve the bond resolution. With the government.
Okay.
Have a motion, need a second? Have a second, any further discussion?
I appreciate you, Mr. Chairman, for calling me today and reminding me and explaining what's going on. I'm late to this game, obviously, since the first of the year. I just want some answers about the number of the dollar amount of this new bond and the length of the bond, the amount of savings due to this 1.25% versus whatever it was before. If you could tell me what it was before, anytime you can negotiate a downward interest rate, that's a good plus for everybody in this room and for the taxpayers. And
Wes, I believe you said it was, what was the interest rate before?
Yeah, the coupon rate before was 3.22% prior, and now it's 1.25%. And this bond will be retired in the year 2034.
what was that, sir?
The bond will be retired in the year 2034. So we got 14 more payments.
And the principal
15
amount,
years. 15 years.
the principal amount of the bonds is $7,790,000. The total payment over the life of the loan is $8,610,208.
So what is your projected savings from the 3.22 to
676,000.
how much, sir?
676,000.
I'm gonna repeat that just in case, so it picks up on my, $676,000.
Okay, and in that 676,000, does that include the cost of handling these bonds? You have to obviously
That's
pay
a-
people to handle bonds.
That's a net number, the 676,000.
That's correct.
Number.
And it could be even, once we do the issuance cost, it could be a little different, even maybe a few thousand higher, we don't know. But we chose to take the savings up front. And so basically we're gonna forego one whole payment.
What would be in the fund balance? What's the fund balance currently? This may not be your area, but the fund balance currently in IDA.
Wes,
Yeah, it's about 1.1 million.
How much?
1.1 million. The IDA is the issuer of these bonds, but the obligor is the county. So the county pays this bond, but it was issued by the IDA.
Coming in late once again, this sounds like a good move on behalf of the taxpayers. So I applaud your due diligence.
We'll give Wes credit for paying attention to this and watching it, because the total savings for the county over the two things that we're doing, there's one that's just a purely county thing, is close to 1.4 million. So this is, it's a good thing, and I think probably given what's going on, we probably need to be doing having those savings over the next year or two.
well, we have a motion and a second, and any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, unanimous. Thank you very much. And Daniel, if you hold on just a second. Item number 3 involves the contract sale of Industrial Development Authority, which we've been negotiating now for several months. And if you would you just go through that for us?
We have a local company, and they said they don't mind if we mention their name. They're using a different LLC to buy this. But Taylor Ironworks is going to open a second location for some of the needs they have with their kind of national and international business. The company is Rodwood Investments LLC, and we're going to sell them under this contract 24.8857 acres in Gateway for $497,714. The IDA has agreed to contribute $150,000 for the construction of a road, which will serve the balance of the IDA's property. So that's, as was discussed at the last meeting, that's kind of a win-win, because we get the road and they get the property, and we finally see some Gateway continue to develop. And I can answer any questions about it. Rodwood has already signed the contract, and I have in my file a $10,000 earnest money check.
I'd like to just point out one thing. In that acreage, there is approximately 6 acres that is wetlands and unbuildable. So it's a good point to bring that out too. So that's part of this other acreage.
And one thing that most everybody on the IDA, that's been on the IDA for a while knows, but Bob, you may not know this, is that when this property was originally bought from the Branham family, there was an agreement entered into that after costs, they get 1/2 of the profit of any sales. They sold it for a fairly reduced amount. We all thought at the time that this was going to be an interchange off of 316, and that didn't work out that way because we have Gateway. So once we calculate the reduction of the amount by expenses, we will have a split with Browns, just as we did with Senate.
Right.
So what I'd be looking for from the IDA is a motion to approve the sales contract and authorizing Rick and Courtney to sign all the necessary documents.
I'll make that motion. Okay, we have a motion. Do we need a second? Second. Motion and second. Any further discussion? Bob?
Yes, sir. Thank you for allowing me to come to the meeting today, and I especially want to thank Chairman for calling me and alerting me as to what's going on in this matter. It's been going on for several months, I understand, and I do appreciate you communicating with me and telling me on behalf of this IDA what's going on here. I had a couple of questions. You mentioned there's a $250,000 allocation for roadway.
150,000.
$150,000, okay. Mr. Haygood, is this roadway only going to this property, or will it benefit other properties that IDA owns?
This road will serve the property that they're buying, but it will also serve the balance of the IDA property on that side of Gateway. So the reason the IDA is willing to do this is because we've got to have a road to get over to that property. So it's essentially a joint development agreement between the buyer and the seller to put the road in and serve both properties.
Are there any restrictions to the property owner, the one that's under contract, or at least one side of the contract, to resell the property or to allocate that 6 acres plus or minus wetlands to mitigate it somewhere else? In the mitigation process, you can take wetlands and mitigate other properties. Is there any restrictions to allow?
There's a pretty significant set of restrictive covenants on the property. There's no resale prohibition on this. If they were to sell it to somebody else, they could. But everybody has to comply with the restrictive covenants that were put on it when Senajiva bought. Some of the property that Rick is referring to is actually, it's wetlands, but it's also an easement, so they couldn't do anything with that.
Okay, you talk about a permanent easement.
Yeah.
Okay. Restrictions of selling. I like what you're saying there. The private sector is not restricted by the government to do or say what they want to do with their property once you sell it to them.
Yeah.
And do you have any building size, or this is gonna be based upon, there's nothing special about it. They still have to go through the plan process in the building, licensing.
That's
and so
correct.
forth. So it has to fulfill all the obligations of our county.
I was nodding, but yes, the answer is that's correct.
I got you. But once again, I appreciate the chairman for alerting me and giving me the full scoop on what's going on here. And I will say this, I told the chairman that I have used Taylor Iron Works in the past. They are superb business people, superb. I've had them build things for me in the past, and I'm excited. Number one, that we're selling this to somebody locally, and the caliber of work that they do. And so I applaud what y'all are doing here. Thank you very much.
Taylor Ironworks is, they're one of the companies, we all know this, but it's worth saying, they're one of the companies locally that has a reputation that goes far outside of Oconee County. They're, we should all be proud of.
Absolutely. Well, we have a motion and a second, and we have discussion. Is there any further discussion? And all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you very much.
And I will need, the two of y'all to stay.
Can we do that after the hearing? That'd be fine. Okay. Thank you, Daniel. And thank you, Wes, for all your work.
Yep. Thank you, everybody's willingness to have a call meeting today.
Thank you. Under the chairman's report, we've got one small item to take care of. We've done this in the years past, and that's proper maintenance, spraying and mowing of gateway. And in the past, we contracted that out, and authority has seen fit just to allow me to negotiate. And so if you so choose, I would like to do that on the remaining acres that we still have in that way. It's time to address that.
I'd like to make a motion for the chairman to negotiate for the work there at Gateway on behalf of the IDA, just as we have the previous years.
Motion, second. Second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. That's all I have. Is there anyone else, any of the constitutional officers have anything else? Okay. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
They're not moving their current work sessions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you,
And I'll
Bob.
get y'all the legal aid hopefully before the end of today. On two bonds.
They will.
I know you go there now. Hey, what we did.
We're going. Oh, we're going.
Bob.
Appreciate it, Bob.
She said, I reply, and what she said. That's kind of sort of.
Matt,
It's the live stream.
each other anytime.
We have a new sound system out sure. It's like neither to you or so old now. And occasionally, people are running or not sophisticated enough to run it right.
You know,
And
sometimes people get to do.
Crazy